morning everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, a very warm welcome to you. My name's Emily and I'm a knitter, crocheter and very occasional sewer. Today's episode is my month-end wrap-up for the month of March. I know, it's March. No, it's not, it's April now. What am I on? March is done. So I will be covering any finished objects that I managed to finish in the month of March. I will then go into my scrappy projects or my long-term works in progress and show you how I'm getting on with them. If I've done any work on them, I've only got one to show you this month. Then I will just briefly touch upon my works in progress numbers, nothing in depth, it's just to give you an idea of how many were left at the end of March. And then I will go into my plans for April and beyond. That section I find the most fun because I love casting something new on. So I've got many items to show you and discuss. But before we get stuck in, how are you all today? I hope that you're doing well and that you're having a really lovely weekend so far. Today as I'm filming, it is Saturday for me. And it's nearly 9 in the morning. We got up early to watch the qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Well, Rob got up early. I stayed in bed for a little bit and then got up and watched the rest of it. So yeah, it was an early morning for us. Rob's back in bed, bless him, with his coffee. And I'm taking the opportunity to film because usually I film either when Rob's not here, when he's at work, or when he's in bed. And this morning threw me, so it almost didn't happen, but I thought, no, he's in bed, I'm going to take the opportunity to film, despite the fact I'm really tired. I do apologise if that comes across, but I am. And that is purely because work has been very demanding on me in the last couple of weeks, as I discussed in my podcast, and it's also the reason there wasn't a podcast 2 weeks ago. It's just been a lot lately, and on top of everything else, it's wearing me down quite a lot, and I am struggling. To be completely honest with you all, I'm struggling. But that being said, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to talk about all the crafty goodness, although there's not a lot of crafty goodness to show you. It is mostly plans, I'm afraid. I didn't do much in March in terms of finishing projects. A lot of my projects, they're getting there, but they're not quite there. So today, being Saturday for myself, Sunday for yourselves, I am hoping to really knuckle down with a couple of projects and maybe just push them that little bit closer to getting finished. Focusing on a couple, yeah, I think that's the best plan. And then if I can finish a couple, I might be able to do some cast-ons, which I will discuss in a moment. So the first item on the list, oh, I've got a bit of a dribbly nose, I'm afraid. It's hay fever season, everybody, here in the UK. It's delightful. It's come early, but never mind. So the first item on my list of the programme, my schedule, maybe I should have gone back to bed too. Anyway, the first item that I have on my list is finished objects, and in March, I can't believe it, I thought I had more, but in March I only had the one finished object. I'm so surprised by that, I really am. I could have sworn there were more, but no, apparently not. So the finished objects were these, and these are the beautiful Lavender Moonflower socks. The pattern is by Twinset and Pearl, and the yarn is by Botanical Yarn. So these, as I say, are the Lavender Moonflower socks. They've got this beautiful lace panelling down at the front of the sock. Back of the sock and the foot of the sock are plain stockinette stitch, as you can see. But it's just beautiful. I really like these socks. It was the heel flap and gusset for the heel. And yeah, just really nice socks. Love them. These were part of the Botanical Yarn and Twinset and Pearl collaboration from, I think it was 2022, I think. Was it? 2022, I'm pretty sure it was 2022. And basically they collaborated and came together to do a sock club. So Botanical Yarn dyed the yarn and Twinset and Pearl designed the socks. And I signed up for 12 months and got 12 months worth of yarn and sock patterns. And these were September's socks. I am still working my way through them. But September's are done. So I just have 3 months left to do now, and then I'm finally done with them. I don't think I I don't think I do very well when it's like a sew along or a stitch along, or I've got to keep up with something. I'm not very good at that, I don't think. But anyway, Lavender Moonflower socks by Twinset Pearl, and again the yarn by Botanical Yarn. My only finished object for the month of March. I need to step up my game for April, don't I? That's shocking. But I think I've got a lot of big projects on the needle or hook at this point in time. So they're all kind of, and some of them are waiting for certain things. So yeah, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. Anyway, the next item on my list is Scrappy / long-term works in progress. As I said, I only have the one to show you today. I just haven't picked up the other projects. So I've got my Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose, which I'm working on. I'm also working on, I'm just looking over there because it's over there. I'm also working on the Scrappy Granny Stripe blanket, which is a fingering weight blanket. It's been adapted from Attic 24's Scrappy Granny Stripe blanket using Nitty Natty's notes from the one that she did, because she did it in fingering weight and loved her version. I use a lot of fingering weight, so that's what I've done. And then the other one that I don't have to show you is my Mitre Square blanket. Again, that's upstairs. It's by my bed, and at the minute, I mean, you'll see in a moment when I get, you'll see in a moment because I'm about to show you, but I usually knit when I'm in bed, but I only knit in bed if I've got my Kindle, if I'm reading a book off my Kindle. And at the minute, I'm reading a lot of physical books, so I can't really, I could knit and read them if I've got one of those weighted page holders, but I like to look after the books, so I don't like to bend the spine too much. I'm one of those people. So yeah, that's why I haven't been reading and knitting in bed much recently. So that's why the Mitre Square blanket hasn't got much work in it. But this one that I'm about to show you, I have done some work in it because I have, as I've just said, have been reading. So let me get it. This one I consider well, I suppose it is a scrappy. All of these, hang on. All of these are leftovers from when I made my lovely, lovely emotional support chickens. This is my one. And I made one for my mum and my sister as well. So we've all got one. But basically, I've got loads of yarn left over from making these. And then I found this really wonderful pattern on Instagram for a book snake. It's really annoying. I've left the pattern over there. Bear with me, I'm going to go grab it. My apologies, everyone. I thought I was ready, but clearly not. I now have the pattern with me, so I can get through it. So the Scrappy long-term work in progress that I have been working on is my book snake. This is Herman, for those who don't know. And a book snake is basically knitting a snake, and then when you've read a book that you've assigned a colour to, you then knit the colour in. So here are my colours. And as you can see, I've listed down some categories, some genres of books, and then I've assigned colours to them. This bottom one is just the body colour. So that's what I've done. One of your wonderful selves did say that you were going to do the book snake, but you were going to do it based on a star rating per book. I kind of wish I'd done that now, because apparently I'm not venturing too far from genres, and I've got a lot of fiction books that I'm going to be reading soon. But yeah, as you can see, this one, ignore, it's from here up. So I've read 2 fiction books, and that top one is a fantasy or romance book. So before I show you the books, just quickly, the yarn that I'm using is this. It is Paintbox Yarns Wool Blend Worsted, and it is a mix of 25% wool and 75% acrylic. The pattern is here, and that is the Book Snake, a knitted reading tracker by Han Lee. Beautiful pattern. Now, when I made mine, when I started it, this was before the pattern came out. So Hannah, basically on her Instagram, she had an Instagram highlights reel of how she made the snake, because everybody loved it. Obviously, clearly it's gorgeous. So she explained how she made it. She explained all the stripes and everything like that. So I basically followed her instructions, altered it a little bit, so my snake is a little bit different proportion wise to this one, that's why. But she then went and wrote the pattern and released it. So I did go and buy the pattern because I wanted to support her. I think it's a fantastic idea. And the next time I make a book snake, thinking ahead a little bit here, the next time I make a book snake, I will be following this pattern. So that's exciting. Right, so the books that I read, I won't go into them in too much detail, but these are the books that I read. So 2 fiction books and fantasy romance. So the first one was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I liked the book. I liked the start. The start was great. The ending was well done. I was happy with the ending. The middle bit completely lost me. I had to force myself to finish this book, if I'm completely honest, which makes me very sad because there's a lot of gaming references in there. In fact, it's about 2 characters that really like gaming. That's how they became friends, and it's how they kind of go through life. Yeah, I expected more. I don't know if I missed something, but a lot of people rave about this book, so don't take my feelings about the book as a recommendation or a non-recommendation, if you will, because a lot of people rave about this book and say it is a must-read. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, read the reviews, read the back, read the blurb, everything like that, and see how you feel about it. Make your own decision on this one, I would say. Well, on any of them, because it's all down to personal preference, isn't it? But I really expected more from this book. But there we go. That is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The next one that I read was Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris. This book, phenomenal. Really enjoyed this book. It was very hard to read in places because it is about a war-torn city. It's Sarajevo in 1992. That's when it starts. So it's difficult to read in places, but it's also, it's good to read it from a perspective that it's written. It's eye-opening. That's the best way to put it. Very eye-opening, and really, really enjoyed the read. Really enjoyed being educated in that way. Just quickly show you Shelterbox Book Club sticker. That is how I got this book. Rob's mum basically bought me a subscription to this Shelterbox Book Club. Been loving it so far. This was the first book that I got from it, and the second book is upstairs. I'm reading it at the minute, and I believe it's called A Mouthful of Salt. Really good book so far. But yeah, hard hitter, but a beautiful book in terms of life, and yeah, just impressive book. Very good. This book, everybody knows, I'm sure, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Fantasy, romance, you know, it's got spice in there, it's got dragons. Dragons are the reason I read this book. I love the dragons. And this is my second time reading it because Onyx Storm is out, which I've not read yet. When I read a series and a new book comes out, I have to start from the first book and then read them all again so that I can read it all in succession. I do read 2 books at a time, so this is kind of what I would consider a palate cleanser. So, you know, read a heavy hitter and then follow it up with a palate cleanser, you know. But I was reading this alongside this one. And then when I got to this one, I basically got to the end of this one as well. So that is what I've been reading, and the books that are on the little snake. Hopefully that wasn't... I don't want this to become a book review channel. I'm not very good at reviewing books, but I can only tell you what I felt. And yeah, I'll try not to delve too deeply into them when I show them. Right, okay, so that brings us on to my plans for April and beyond. I do have a couple, yeah, well, I don't know when I'm going to cast them on. It might be in April, it might be in May, who knows. I have a feeling a couple will be cast on in April. This next one I'm going to show you will be, if I can get my act together. And then, yeah, actually, I think possibly not that one. I don't know, possibly that one. So, yeah, I'll just show you what I've got and we'll see what happens as to whether I cast them on. The first one is, of course, from this book. This is The Gnomes of Grimblewood by Sarah Shearer, and I'm currently trying to take part in the Year of Gnomes that Sarah Shearer is hosting, but I've fallen behind. I'm currently working on Nicole, who is my March gnome, but I have picked out my gnome that I want to make for April. Whether it will be April/May gnome, I think that might be the case. I might have to merge 2 months together because April and May are going to be so busy for me. So's June. Oh dear. Anyway, this is the gnome I have picked out. I hope you can see that. Yes, you can. That is Natalia. And I love the colourwork on the hat. I'm feeling a bit of colourwork, so that is why I picked this gnome. I haven't picked the yarn out yet. It all is all in my cupboard here. I just need to pull it out and have a decide as to what colour I want to use, because I believe, yeah, it's 5 different colours that I need. So yeah, I've got to have a think about that. But I'm not going to do that until I finish Nicole and I see how much yarn is left from her. So that is plan number 1. Plan number 2 follows on from the Lavender Moonflower socks, which I showed you in my finished objects. And that is to cast on these. These are the Cedar Elm socks by Twinset and Pearl. Bring that closer so you can see the sock. There you are. I've only just noticed that the pattern actually goes into the cuff, so that's going to be quite interesting. These are October's socks from that Twinset and Pearl Botanical Yarn sock club. And yeah, I'm just still trying to get my way through them. I might be able to finish them this year if I'm good enough. But this is the yarn. It's by Botanical Yarn. There is no colourway name. It is literally labelled up as October 2022 Cedar Elm socks. So yeah, I'm hoping to get these cast on. I do have a pair of socks on the needle at the minute. They're for Rob. I'm close to finishing them, so maybe when I finish those, I'll cast these on. That's the plan, I think. Pop that back in there. Right. The next plan is to cast on 2 items, really. They're kind of, I class them as 2 in 1. So here they are. I showed you them a little while ago, I think, not too long ago. It was a fairly recent thing. But these are a 2-piece set. You've got your basic tee and then you've got the A-shape shorts. And they are designed to work as a 2-piece set. You can have the t-shirt as either the short sleeve or the long sleeve. I am undecided. I feel like a long sleeve with shorts is a bit, I don't know how I feel. I might make the shorts first and then decide, try them on and see how they feel on me and see if I fancy a long sleeve or, I don't know. But they look really good together. The pattern is by Spectacle Stricker. And if I can do this, I have tried this once and it doesn't go massively to plan. Hang on. All right, so there it is. That is the 2-piece set together. That is the long sleeve top with the shorts, which is why I think the long sleeve looks really nice with the shorts. But that is the set, and I would really like to make it. I'd like to make it, originally I said I'd like to make it for Le Mans, but we're going away in May and I kind of want to make it for May as well. So I need to get a wiggle on if that is the case. The yarn is all here. I've got enough for both the shorts and for the top. And if I just bring it out quickly, it is Drops Bell. There you are. This colour is colour 1. And the blue colour that I've got, because I'm a blue gal basically. So again, same yarn, Drops Bell Unicolor, and the colour is 13. There we go. The makeup of the yarn is, it is a 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. Feels really nice actually, so I'm quite excited to get that worked up. So I feel like I need to finish, I don't know, at least a garment that I've got on the needle before I can cast those on. So those are another plan. The final plan that I have is kind of a general plan. It's not really a specific plan, it's a general plan, but I really want to do some more sewing. So this pattern I bought the kit for, so I wouldn't mind doing this sooner than later. There it is, and it is the Sew Over It hobby bag. There we go. So I would quite like to do that sooner than later, as I say, because I've got the kit for it. I've got everything is in there. It's got the fabric, it's got the webbing, it's even got the sewing machine needles, which I was really surprised about. But yeah, I would quite like to get that done. So that's one loose plan. Another loose plan is I have the Tilly and the Buttons, that's it, Make It Simple book, and I really would like to make the Tabitha t-shirt. There it is. I'd quite like to make the Tabitha t-shirt, and where is it? Bear with, it's here somewhere, I know it is. It's not there apparently. Alongside the Tabitha t-shirt, I'd like to make the Tabitha t-shirt dress. So I'd really like to make that as well. So I do have some black, just plain black jersey fabric here for making the dress. So that is the plan for that. I have already washed it, so it's ready to go. I just need to finish getting that pattern ready. Oh, hang on. No. Yes, I am still in my pyjamas. Half in pyjamas, half not. So for the t-shirt, I've got this lovely jersey fabric that's called Galaxy, and it's really, really nice. And then I got some ribbing for the collar. I think that's going to be really, really nice. I've got some little labels for that. I will be putting on the original label. I think that would look really, really nice on that. That's another plan. And then another plan is I really want to make these. These are the Tyra trousers by Pleon Patterns. Is that right? Pleon? I do apologise, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I really want to make these Tyra trousers. I'd like to make this version of them, so the long version. Long and floaty, that's what I want. And I have this gorgeous, gorgeous viscose for that. Really drapey, really lovely, and I think they're going to look great as a pair of trousers, to be honest. So those are some loose plans around sewing, but I definitely want to do more sewing, because I do enjoy it and I do want to make my own clothes, so I probably should. Anyway, I have been sat here for quite some time now, and poor Rob, I think he's stirring upstairs, so I think I should probably let him out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, it really does mean the absolute world to me. Hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.